All right, hi everybody. Welcome to the show. We're going to be watching the 10th episode of season 1 of Deep Space Nine tonight, the Nagus. So if you don't have it queued up already, make sure you have that queued up on your end, and we'll be starting at the very beginning, of course, at 00, which on Netflix is also minus 45:30. And because I'm watching it on Netflix, that's what the time code will be this time. It'll be a countdown instead of a count up. So you'll get like the negative time code. So if you need to sync up at any point, that's what's going to be on screen. But before we get to that, hi, Dana. How are you?
Well, it's funny you should ask that,
I,
Steve.
is it?
Yeah. I had a challenging day at school. I had to do lots and lots of paperwork, filling out grade report forms for a bunch of students and then finding the students' parents' emails and attaching the grade report to the email and attaching a message to the email that explains the grade report.
Yeah.
And then someone that I trusted let me down.
Tell us more about that, please.
Why should I be the one to discuss that, Steve? Steve.
Yes, Dana.
You know what you did.
Okay, I'll let me tell everybody, in case anybody doesn't know, because I talked about it on Twitter earlier, and I shared it on Facebook and stuff. But just in case you don't know, I did watch the Snyder Cut today.
Oh, but not only that.
And yesterday I watched the theatrical cut of Justice League. So I would just like to take this opportunity to apologize to all the people who I have let down. And
why, Steve?
All the people, yes. Why?
And saying that you would like to apologize is not an apology, because an apology includes, first of all, an admission that you were wrong, that you shouldn't have done it, that it was wrong to do that.
Okay. I shouldn't have done it. I was wrong to watch the Snyder Cut. I was wrong to watch any version of Justice League. I sincerely apologize to anyone who my actions have harmed in any way.
Okay. And
I promise I'll never do it again.
Of course you're not going to watch either one of those crappy movies again. You already watched them once.
Definitely.
God,
not.
Why would you watch them again? But how do we know? Because you watched Titans.
I did. 2 seasons of it.
And what are you, how, this is a pattern at this point, Steve.
Is this self-destructive behavior?
I don't know. No. It's not just self-destructive behavior. It's hurtful to others. You are the reason. You and not just you. You and people like you are the reason that mediocre white dudes get showered with money to make crappy stories. While in all different kinds of media, not just movies, but all different kinds of media, while people with passion, skill, and brilliant ideas languish in obscurity because they're not like cool fandom dudes. They're not dude bros, Steve. You're supporting dude bros.
And
that's not okay. That's not okay.
Do you think I'm not torn up inside about it?
Not enough. I mean, like. What? Why should I think that you won't just do it again?
Because I have
255 AD. I have started.
To people who came in a little late, I watched the Snyder Cut, and Dana is giving me my just desserts. So that's what the deal is.
You watched not just the Snyder Cut, you watched the Whedon one.
You
know what a piece of crap he is, and you know he's I don't know what's going on. Usually, like when the more like it stymies me as a teacher, because like one of the things that I explain to my students is the more you do a thing, the better you get at doing that thing. But the more that Joss Whedon like tells stories, the worse they get. Like how do you do that? How do you get worse at something by practicing it? And you know what? It's because of enablers like you, people who encourage bad storytelling. You are encouraging bad storytelling. Azalea Jane, it's not exactly giving them money because, as he's pointed out to me, that he's already an HBO Max, HBO Plus. Yeah. I don't know.
HBO Max.
I'm cheap. I don't pay for it. Subscriber. So it's not like he's giving them any extra money, but they pay attention to what gets watched, what people choose to stream in order to decide what to promote and what else they're going to support. So in that sense, he is supporting bad storytelling. So how do we know this is not going to happen again?
Well, I guess you'll just have to take my word for it. You'll just have to trust me. Let me ask you. What can I do? What can I give you? What sort of what good faith gesture can I make?
I am certain. I am absolutely confident that there are nonprofits, charities, those sorts of things, something that will support minorities in storytelling and or the arts.
There are.
I think you should, I don't know if you can look into, I mean, we're already live. Kyle, nope, that's not enough. I think you should donate the ad revenue from this to one of those charities. I mean, I don't know what all is available on YouTube, so you'll have to look through that. That would definitely be a show of good faith.
What I'll probably
the other thing is you are the media that we choose to consume influences us. It shapes our worldview and our perspective on all sorts of things, and you are poisoning yourself. And I just, as a friend, Steve,
yes,
I'm concerned for you.
I understand.
I am concerned for you that you continue making these unhealthy choices. 2:55 a.m. I had pizza last night. Pizza
I am having pizza, by the way.
Steve is having pizza. Tonight ended up being we had pizza last night, and Dana cooking for me is like, I took some leftover chicken, and also there's a meatball out of the fridge, and I nuked it. Good. And also, because that's not going to be enough, I'm having a bowl of cereal. And also, because I knew I was sick at Steve, I'm having gin and ginger ale.
Nice. By the way, I want to read this super chat that we just got. And by the way, for anybody, I promised Dana before we went on the air, when we talked about this earlier, that I would not talk about the movie during this stream because she doesn't want to hear about the movie. So this is not me talking about the movie. This is a super chat from Eigel Full Metal, who says, in the Snyder cut, the Joker makes a joke about gay sex, and then Batman threatens to kill him. Honestly, this movie feels like a hate crime. That is 100% true. That is in the movie. And also, here's another super chat from Oasis, who says, this is one of my favorite episodes of early DS9, and I'm glad we can share it with Dana. So there you go. Hopefully your anger at me for my moral failing of watching Justice League will not prevent you from enjoying.
I feel, honest to God, Steve, I feel betrayed. Like, it's bad stories.
It's very bad stories. You're 100% right. Both versions of it were awful. But I do think, I mean, we talked about this earlier too. I am seriously not, I mean, the idea about donating the ad revenue is great, but the ad revenue for this probably won't be that much. Although we have gotten a couple of super chats, so that's great. Yay. Thanks everybody. But I do seriously, I am going to, I think this, this is it's a nice excuse to make a donation. I looked up some nonprofits earlier, and I haven't I haven't picked one yet. I might do two of them actually. I'm not sure, but
And also maybe you could do a video about it, about
Oh yeah.
mediocre white dudes being showered with money. Well, and we did touch on it at you touched on it at some point in one of your videos fairly recently about because you talked about, I think it was in one of your recent Star Trek videos, maybe, where you talked about if we didn't have like no, it was Ask Away.
It was
Ask Away.
Askaway,
That's what it
like when they
was.
were about problematic like directors and stuff.
Yeah, if we get rid of the problematic people, we'll lose these. Some of the works that they've created have been really good.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
Fair enough. I'll grant that. But they're getting in the way. I will never. I will die mad about Shirley Walker.
Yeah.
I will never. We've been robbed because she worked with Danny Elfman for so long, and maybe for whatever reason, she just never. That was not something she wanted to do. Maybe it really, even if she had all the opportunities in the world, she would have had that be her choice, and that's fine. Rachel Portman has been in interviews has said that she has never experienced sexism as a composer. And I'm like, honey, yes, you have. You may not have experienced sexual harassment, but that's not the same as not having experienced sexism. I mean, because what's the other option?
It's a sexist industry. Yeah. I mean, it's a sexist
It is.
world.
The other option is to say, well, women just don't have as much musical talent as men, or women just aren't as creative as men. Are we going to say that? Because I'm not.
Yeah.
Yeah. Philip, she did the music for the animated series. That's how I found out about her. And it's so dynamic. It does start with Danny Elfman's score, but it builds on it in really interesting ways. She's got themes for different characters. It's just, it's brilliant.
Yeah.
And I feel robbed that she didn't get some. If you go through just freaking like Wikipedia, she didn't get some of the opportunities that Michael Giacchino, who has done wonderful work, don't get me wrong,
brilliant composer,
as far as I know, is unproblematic. As far as I know.
As far as I know too.
But there's music that will never exist because she wasn't given some of the opportunities that male creators are given. I will never not believe that, and I will never not feel robbed. Well, I mean, sometimes I'm just not thinking about it, but when I think about it, yeah, I'm never gonna miss that. There's so many missed opportunities there. I just,
yeah. So, but I'm going to make a donation to at least one, possibly more than one organization. And I
think you could do a video about that and promote some of those organizations, because I mean, there really needs to be, because it starts at all levels, when we're in at really low levels, it's more girly to be involved in music and the arts. But as you start moving up the skill and professionalism ladder, it becomes more and more male dominated.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a huge cultural issue, and we need to be talking about it all over the place. Grady, yeah, the animated series was absolutely brilliant. And that's what brought me into Batman. There was, and
Robin's Reckoning.
Steve, I know you're familiar with this. There was an episode of, I was at school and on the weekend, and the teacher, I was on the newspaper staff. The teacher would always bring in the television. We'd watch the Duke game, and she was a big Duke fan. And after that, it was, Batman was on. And I loved working on the newspaper. This was when I was an editor, and I was just really involved. I would spend my lunch in there, just working on layouts, loved it. And I couldn't, I kept getting pulled into the story. And it was Robin's Reckoning Part 1.
Yeah.
And that's the one they won the Emmy for.
It's a good episode.
No surprise.
Yeah.
An amazing episode. Watching it now, it's a little on the melodramatic side, but oh my gosh.
Yeah.
It's so good. And we didn't have television. And so I begged my mom to call her friend to tape, because it's part one.
You got to see part
stopped.
2. Yeah.
It stopped. And I begged my mom to call her friend to tape it for me, because we had a TV and a VCR. We just didn't have cable. We didn't have an antenna, nothing. And I got her to tape it for me so that I could watch Robin's Reckoning Part 2 and find out what happened. Because I mean, Robin leaves the Batcave, and the episode, you know, it's like he leaves and he says, maybe not tonight, Alfred, maybe not ever again. And he roars off on his motorcycle, and that's it. And the music swells.
To be continued.
To be continued. And
Robin,
it's so good.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness, it's so good. And I had a crush on Dick Grayson, let me tell you.
Did you?
I mean, just and the acting in it is so great. And then, you know, and then while I was in college, I saw a picture of Kevin Conrad, and I was like, oh my goodness, this man, yowza.
And you were hooked.
I was hooked before that.
You were hooked before that because it was a good show, but
yeah. I just, oh my God, it's so good.
Yeah.
The Grey Ghost, Philip Key. Oh God.
Yeah, with Adam West as the voice of the Grey Ghost.
It's beautiful. It's beautiful. When are we going to get to the firework factory? Is that? I don't know what that's a reference to.
I don't know what that's a reference to either. The firework factory. I don't know.
Anyway, but
speaking of getting to things, do you want to start the episode, or do you want to? We can keep.
I was serious, man.
You can keep yelling at me for the rest of the show if you want.
No, I'm like I don't think you understand how much that upset me. I really don't think you get it. Don't support toxic creators, man.
I'm really sorry.
I mean, aside from, yeah. Don't support toxic creators. And more than that, also, you know, don't support bad storytelling. There's so much out there that's good, or at least potentially good. I don't think I support hate watching stuff. Because it still promotes it.
I generally speaking, I don't either. But, you know, I was weak.
You were weak repeatedly.
I
don't know. Maybe
twice,
maybe it's like a variant strain of coronavirus.
That's it. Sure. Yeah.
You've got corona in the brain.
I got the Rona. I got the vid.
You're mixing. You're absolutely. Well, but she did a lot of supplemental work. Shirley Walker did a lot of supplemental work, and she doesn't get a lot of independent credit. And again, it's hard to know. Our choices, no choices made in isolation. So it's hard to know how much of it is, you know, her wanting to pull back from the industry, and how much of it is those were the opportunities that were available to her. All right.
Well, and also, I think your larger point of like Shirley Walker is just an example of the fact that there were who knows how many women composers, and still are. And you mentioned like Michael Giacchino, who is a brilliant composer, but who gets a lot of work, you know, ditto for Danny Elfman in the 90s. You know, it seems like at any given time in Hollywood, there are usually about 4 or 5 composers, and they're all men, and they get the bulk of like the major sort of mainstream, like Hollywood blockbuster type work. And, you know,
Captain, one of the things, I think it was Captain Marvel. That was one of the things I was excited about. Not only did we have a female director, we had a female composer. I think it was Captain Marvel. And I mean, it's like an action movie.
Right.
And Rachel Portman is much more known for like Chocolat and Sisterhood of the Traveling Pants, and Cider House Rules. I think she won. I think that was the one she won the Oscar for. But you know, action movies. Oh, that's dude stuff.
Yeah. 255 AD. What would DS9 be like if Zack Snyder directed? It would be.
I wouldn't be watching it.
It would be terrible. The episode would be like maybe 1 or 2 things would happen, because that's all the time they would have in the hour, because it would all be slow motion.
Richard Moore. God, now, that's a really good point. I don't know. Should we finish watching Firefly?
We might as well. I mean,
I just
we might as well finish it. We're like what? We're halfway. We're more than halfway through the series because aren't there only like 14 or 15 episodes?
I thought there were only like 11.
Oh, really? I
I
don't know.
honest to
But
God don't know.
we're however long it is. I mean, we might as well finish it.
I guess. All right,
Well,
but
yeah,
I'm still disappointed, Steve. It'll take me some time to get past it. Just FYI.
I understand. I understand.
You're still we're not friends.
I understand. No, I get it completely. I get it completely.
So
I get it completely. Yeah, and for people asking about the time code, that's right. Richard Moore has it right there in the chat. We're starting at 0 or negative 4530. For if you're watching it on Netflix, like we are, and the time code will be on the screen when I start when I hit play. So you'll see the time code counting down from negative 4530 on the screen. So
okay,
yeah.
Flying Pig. In case you were, since you asked, what did he do? Not only did he watch the Snyder cut, he also watched the theatrical release, the Whedon version of Justice League.
Yeah. I watched both versions of Justice League.
Like, why would you do that? Our Justice League. I mean, and we don't even have like a full Justice League, backstories and stuff, but we've started getting into it.
Our Justice League is going to be so much better. Oh God, yes.
Yes, so much better.
I can, as if I mean, I assumed it already, but I can confirm, having watched both versions of the movie, our version is not that that's that difficult. Because
no, but our version's good. I mean, honestly, good. It makes me sad that I've just been so tired all the time, and that teaching. I love my job, but it's so intense lately.
It takes it out of you.
Yeah, I haven't had a lot of creative energy. So
that's completely fine. I mean,
all right. Yeah, less whining, more nining. Let's go.
Hey, I like that. Less whining, more nining. Okay.
So that's a nice line.
That's a really nice line. Okay.
Good lining.
Ooh, hey. Okay.
All right, let's get started.
We can
just yak. I could yell at you for hours.
and you will.
Justifiably so.
Guilty as charged. Okay, here we go. I'll count us in from 3 as usual. And we will go from there. So everybody get ready to hit play, and I will count us in from 3. 3, 2.
Emily, we're just getting started.
I'll count us in from 3 again. Emily, we're just getting started. Okay, for real this time.
Sorry.
That's okay. Here we go. 3, 2, 1, play.
Beauty shot, of course. You know what I feel like? Tradition. Da 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 da.
Tradition.
I will refrain from singing the entire thing, but I know
Thank you. I know you do.
Dear Author Trekkie, if you want to join in on shitting on the Snyder Cut, you can leave a comment later on. It will be, well, I don't know whether Steve will approve. It depends on how vulgar you are.
I thought you said it was a terrific surprise.
The staff. What staff? I missed the staff. Oh, well, maybe I'll say it again. Sarah, it's hard to spoil a pizza. I like pizza. I don't want to. Good for you. Assert those boundaries, kiddo.
Absolutely.
He's a nerd. Aw, little baby nerd. Yes.
That's what I'm saying.
Nog's my friend and you're not. Oh, Dad is disappointed.
What is he? Some kind of teenager? I don't.
Oh, that's baloney. Customer satisfaction is our primary concern. No, it's not. It's money. Well, that's a stupid rule.
It's a rule of
I mean,
acquisition. It's
seriously.
supposed to be a stupid rule.
Okay.
It's nice to know that even in the future, teenagers can still find ways to waste time.
Yeah. Like watching crappy movies.
Touche.
We ain't done yet, Steve.
At least building that tower out of pads and glasses probably didn't take Nog 4 hours. I'll put it that way.
Oh, not just 4 hours. Remember, you watched
6
crappy
hours.
movies.
Yeah.
And you didn't even get paid. God.
That's a shame.
Like,
That's a
I
tragedy.
thought maybe somebody offered you money. But no. Nice reaction. Somebody in the chat earlier said something about Wallace Shawn.
There he is.
Duralter Trekkie, I wouldn't know. I didn't watch either one. A holo suite.
A holo suite.
Mm.
The Nagus is a horny old man. You understand. Now we can all take a few minutes to just relax, center ourselves.
Breathe in.
Breathe in, breathe out.
No, hold and breathe out. Being sure to empty all of the negativity about crappy stories
made by horrible people.
Is Zack Snyder a horrible person too?
People say no, but I've seen his movies, so I say yes.
So mostly we just don't have any evidence.
He hasn't been he hasn't been accused of like anything like that Whedon has, but I mean, he's made so many movies that are full of fascism and sexism and rape apology and gratuitous horrible violence.
But it's hard not to see how that would affect the way he interacts with people.
Well, I mean, it's like how can you make 300 and be a good person? Like 300 is like straight up fascist propaganda, and it's racist and it's misogynist, and it's like, but he's such a nice guy. Fuck him. Yeah, Beagle Boy Gaming, I agree. That's me too. I liked his Watchmen, and that's about it.
Oh, Sarah, that's interesting.
I mean, I like it. In terms of like interpersonal interactions, I've never heard anything bad about him. But I'm just saying, I don't know how you can say someone is a good person when they've put that much fascist imagery in their movies.
It makes it difficult to believe that they just haven't been caught or haven't been accused.
Or that all that stuff is in there just accidentally. Like he honestly just doesn't mean any harm and doesn't know any better. Like, come on, dude.
Yeah, Maxim. That's a possibility, but the fact that he puts it out there for public consumption, like, you know, if it was just cathartic, like that's something that you like put in a journal and you hand to your therapist. That's
Right.
not something
you
that
don't
you
put
like
it in
share with the
movies.
world. It doesn't make the world a better place. You're choosing to make the world a worse place.
Yeah.
Not a good thing.
Oh, it's Mr. O'Brien, the substitute teacher.
Oh God, they've got school in this one. Oh, sweet Jesus.
Oh, I forgot that there was school stuff in it.
Oh God, I don't know if I can take this. Hey, nice. Oh, fuck you. Pass in the butt, kiddo. I was so proud of him for just saying, I don't have my essay. The follow-up is, I'm sorry. Front of my room, front and center. No excuses, just solutions.
Yeah.
It's unfortunate that it happened at Quarks, but okay. What are you going to do about it? Oh my gosh. Dude,
Mrs. O'Brien does not have that banner in her classroom, apparently.
Well, I mean, but yes, I do care, why it happened, because that sets up that helps us understand how to move forward. I don't want to watch this part.
It's almost
just
over.
Talk through it and not really listen. Oh God! Oh, now he's making
Jake
his friend lie.
He's lying for his friend.
Oh,
he's lying for
Jesus.
his friend. That's how it starts. That's how a life of crime starts, Jake.
But I'm out of gin. Oh, Steve, if you told me not. Oh,
I didn't remember about the school stuff. I just remember the Nagus Wallace Shawn stuff.
Hold the line. How is making 1984 into a movie fascist? Like, you would have to, like, the whole point of 1984 is that fascism is bad.
Yeah. 1984 has fascist imagery, but it's used to refute fascism.
It's used to be like, this is horrific and bad.
Right. 300 is fascist propaganda. The Spartans are the heroes. The Spartans are fascists. It's not satire. It's not political commentary.
To Ultra Trekkie, the appropriate thing to do in that situation is to keep your mouth shut and say, and obviously you don't tell one of your friend either. You just say, I don't know.
Yeah.
And then you give your friend
exactly.
the stink eye.
And you have a talk with them after class and say, don't ever do that to me ever again.
That's not something that a friend does, Steve.
Exactly. Friends don't do that.
Friends don't let each other down.
You're right, Dana.
Dude, I'm with you. I need something else.
If you need to, next time we pause, if you need to go fill up.
The Flying Pickaxe, I'm curious what speech or debate or interview that was in. I would love a source like that, because I'm not really fond of 1984. I enjoyed being in the play. That was fun. I liked my character. I don't know what the hell I'm doing. I don't know what I'm doing. Oh, that is absolute bullying. Kids like learning. They like actually learning things instead of just being put through the motions by somebody who doesn't know what they're freaking doing. Steve.
I'm sorry. I forgot this. I forgot the teacher stuff was in here. I should have given you more of a heads up.
You didn't remember. Apparently it's fair. Please, 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 God, make it stop. That knocks him out into it. You jerk. He's a child, for God's sakes.
He's a Ferengi.
I don't care. I don't care. He's a child. Oh, God, I want to punch him off the face. Beagle Boy Gaming, then it was, you said if it's math, I didn't care about learning. In that case, it was presented poorly to you. Math is about puzzles and imagination and things that don't actually exist. It's all completely abstract, and it requires you to be creative, but within the rules. Math is amazing. Radical Bacon, and Chris Kringle, I missed the O'Brien is racist. I'm so mad about the teaching bit.
Kind of, it's the Ferengi stuff, like, you know, Ferengis all act this way, that kind of thing. O'Brien is kind of racist.
If you knew what you were doing. Stupid O'Brien. Wow. So I'm gonna go in a different direction and say Wallace Shawn would not have been my choice in The Princess Bride, but we can talk about that.
Oh, really? For Vizzini?
Yeah.
Oh, we've talked about this before.
We've talked about that.
We've talked about this before. Yeah.
David C. Drake, I think a lot of teachers are not bad or not just half decent, but are under supported.
Yeah.
Charles Chaplin is very careful about poison. Charles Chaplin, one of the things I love about that is if you listen to it, he's absolutely right. He says, clearly, I cannot choose the poison in front of you, and I cannot choose the poison in front of me, or not poison, duh. I cannot drink from the cup in front of you. I cannot drink from the cup in front of me. I cannot drink from the cup in front of you. And he's right. Like the whole time, he's right.
He can't.
He can't drink from either cup. It's great. I love it. And in the book, of course, it's very difficult to show on film. In the book, it tells us the man in black is shifting his weight and he's getting more and more nervous because he's right. And he's afraid that he's figured it out.
He's going to figure it out. Yeah.
Oh, it's beautiful. It's so good. And it is difficult to show in film. It just does not come across at all in the movie.
Well, and also in the movie, I mean, they play it strictly for laughs. I mean, there's not really, you know, it's totally
and it's
a comedy
not supposed to, because one of the things that Goldman says in the book is how evil was Vizzini, the devil Sicilian, and like they just went a completely different direction. And I think that was a weak choice.
I love that. That's how Ferengis punish their kids. Don't you dare do any homework.
Flying Pig. I haven't read her biography. And I know I think she's got more than one book out. So, you know, if you want to give me, I would love to look at that because wow, it's really important to trust the people in charge. God, what?
It's kind of like, it's really important for the people in charge to be trustworthy, which is a very different thing than just trusting the people in charge no matter what.
Question the people in charge and to hold them accountable. Eric Allen, you're absolutely. I mean, he's Vizzini as written in the book is really never started a land war in Asia. I mean, historically, it's not
good
wrong.
Advice. Okay, 3, 2, 1, pause. I'm paused at 29:32. So that is where we will
looking a little puzzled.
Yes. So
I'm not liking this episode, and it's not because of the Ferengi stuff. It's just because of it's not happy with the teaching stuff, Steve.
I'm sorry. I honestly forgot that there was teaching stuff.
I mean, I knew it was going to come up sooner or later, but you know, between that and your betrayal, it's been a rough day, Steve.
Do you seriously? Do you need to go get some more gin?
Don't think it hurt.
Go for it.
Oh, Doc Marmalade, Kira is definitely racist, and I'm curious. I mean, presumably you know what's going to happen in this next scene. Now I'm curious.
I don't know if it's the next scene.
I'm going to hate the Ferengi later on in the Duralter Trekkie. Do you mean in this episode?
Well, the thing is, I mean, I don't know. I don't know if it really comes out so strongly in this episode, but like, the Ferengi society is written to be explicitly sexist, and it's done to make fun of that sort of thing and to satirize like those sorts of attitudes. So you're kind of supposed to hate them for that. I mean, it's part of the way the characters are written. Their society is designed that way by the writers, so that you get that that's bad.
They're ultra tricky. I can understand, women are not allowed to do business, but women being naked at all times, that's not necessarily a good thing, because it's, in some ways, it's nice to have clothes to like wick up the sweat, but a society in which I didn't have to wear clothes.
What about a society where you weren't allowed to wear clothes? Because that's Ferengi society. It's not that women are required to be naked all the time.
Like I would totally not have a problem. Again,
you're not allowed to wear clothes at all, even if you want to.
Why would I want to wear clothes?
Okay. Well, I mean, if that's fine, but I'm just saying, that's
the only thing. Like, my thing about clothes is I'm very practical when it comes to clothes. I am very anti like professional dress. It's baloney. 255 AD, I will come back to that. The idea of school stuff. Short version is no. God, school stuff, bad. But not being allowed to wear clothes. There are times when I want to decorate. Are they allowed to wear jewelry?
I don't know. Actually, maybe. I don't know.
Because there are times when Bye. There are times when I want to do things that make me feel extra sparkly or extra pretty.
Yeah.
But I mean, it doesn't require clothes, and it doesn't even require jewelry. Like, I can style my hair, or I can wear makeup, or well, of course, Ferengi don't have hair, so there is that. But there are different things that. Okay, where did my pad of paper go? I'm Flying Pig X. I'm writing that down. Clinton's memoir, What Happened?
That would be the one that just came out like a couple years ago. The one that I guess.
Yeah, I know, but I can get it from the library without having. I'm so cheap, you guys. I really am. Anyway, what was I saying? Oh, yeah.
About making yourself look sparkly.
I'd be fine with not wearing clothes for the most part. There are sometimes when you get like a little sweaty in places, and it's nice to have something to wick that up. And also, like, if you're going to be sitting somewhere where, like, bodily fluids, like, it's easier to wash clothes than it is to, like, wash a chair. So it makes sense, again, from a practical point of view. 255 AD says they're also not allowed to go outside. Now that.
Yes.
I would take issue with. I would be breaking the law all the time.
They're essentially property. I mean, they're treated like they have very few rights. I mean, it's like I said, it's a harshly patriarchal, sexist society.
It's difficult to know how I would react if I was actually in that. Apolok. Let me open that up. The towel down rule. Absolutely. Yes, that's very important. But I wish we extended that, like, outside of nudists and naturalists, because, like, when you're wearing like a really low backed top and you're leaned back against the chair, and then you get up and there's like a ring there, like, I'm just saying, hygiene, it's important. And 255 AD, it's based on a Western interpretation of some parts of the Middle East, I think. So yeah, I am very much I'm not. I realize that my experience is far outside the norm. There is sometimes it'll come across my feed that it says, every woman has experienced, that they walk with their keys in their hand. Every woman has hurried down a dark alley. And I'm like, if I hurry down a dark alley, it's because it's cold outside. Like, literally. And some of this, my superpower is forgetting things. Maybe I forgot. Maybe it's happened to me and I've just forgotten about it. But obviously, it didn't make an impression. There are things I remember. I remember watching Robin's Reckoning very clearly. That was pivotal. Any sort of sexual danger or gender-based danger that I've been in, don't remember. No,
But at the same time, you also recognize that your experience
I am an anomaly.
atypical.
I'm really, really big, and I'm kind of tall, 255 AD. I'm 6'1". And I've always been like, and I've always been assertive, I started school a year early because I didn't exactly pitch a fit, but my mom tells a story that I marched around the kitchen table saying, I want to go to school and I want to go to a real school. I want to go to school and not to a play school. And they're just like, okay. So they took me to the kindergarten and had, they were talking, they're like, well, we don't usually, accept students who are, her age. Because I was like a full, like my birthday's coming up on Saturday. So I'm not just like, I'm like younger.
Yeah.
And even so, growing up in like elementary school, it was me and two other girls. There were two girls who were taller than me. That was it. I've always been big.
Yeah.
Not just for a woman, but just
generally.
big.
Yeah.
And that, that's part of how I carry myself. I just don't, I realized in my head, like, especially when I was at college, I went to Florida State, which is like a large university, and it's where Ted Bundy was. And
that's always a point of pride.
Always a plus. No, I just
the Knowles and Ted Bundy. That's the Florida State.
255 AD asks if my entire education was a year early. Yes, I started kindergarten a year early, and then I was just a year younger than everybody else the whole way through. So, I mean, that was what was normal for me.
Dorota Trekkie, I am the exact same height as Dana. I'm also 6'1".
So, Grady Burrell says, please help me understand why I'm having problems with this episode because there's like bad classroom stuff. Yeah. There's bad education in it. And I'm just like, oh.
I think
apparently there's some like racism, but I was ranting so much about the bad teaching that I missed those lines.
I think to most people, this episode isn't problematic, or at least isn't unusually problematic. But yeah, for you, because of the teaching stuff, it's a particular source of aggravation. Yeah, but I don't remember this episode being especially there are Ferengi episodes coming up in future seasons that are way more problematic than this one.
Okay, so here's the thing: is there more school stuff coming up?
I don't know.
Okay, chat folks, help me out. Is there more school stuff coming up?
Does anybody remember if there's more school stuff coming up? I mean,
yeah, Big Old Boy Gaming. O'Brien isn't a teacher. I don't expect. Oh, and we can get oh.
Okay, Radical Bacon says there is more school stuff coming up, but hopefully not too much.
255 AD says, does being tall make it easier or harder to get men to take you seriously? I don't know, but being taller and being very sure of myself makes it a whole lot easier not to care whatsoever. I mean, like,
that's the important.
Yeah, I take myself seriously, and everybody else they can think what they think, and that's fine. And I'll let them know whether or not they're right. I will absolutely tell them. I think they're wrong. I'm going to tell them.
So did you want to take a minute and get another drink before we start back into the episode?
Oh, Sarah Scott says more school. Yes. Y'all talk. You talk to the chat.
Well, I'll talk to everybody. You go get a drink.
I don't think I can take it, dude.
Dana needs a drink. And while she's gone, I thought the Whedon cut was better. Was like significantly better. It still sucked. It was still horrible. But the Whedon cut was was clearly better than the Snyder cut. Like it's not even a close call. You know, and not to defend it because they're both. I can't stress enough how they are both really bad movies. But the Whedon cut is clearly better. The Snyder cut is just, yeah. For one thing, it's 4 hours. Okay, 4 hours. The last half hour is just like basically deleted scenes thrown back into the movie. You could cut it off completely, and the movie would not. I mean, you could literally lose the last half hour of the movie completely, and the movie would be much better for it. But anyway, oh, and Geraldo Trekkie, I hated that. I hated that. Okay, she's coming back.
Uh-oh. Oh boy. Come on. There we go.
Hello.
Grady Burrells, you came in a little late. What was happening? Is she really mad?
You're not mad. You're disappointed.
I'm irritated. I'm irked. Irked is a good word here. 255 telling Jake who his friends can be. Yeah. Honestly, that doesn't bother me because that's just not gonna work. That's a dumb dad moment. Yeah, that's not gonna work.
No, Sarah, thanks for snitching on me.
Charles Chapman, that's Charles Chapman is replying to Chris Kringle. What did Chris Kringle say that he was replying to? Oh, Emily Chambers, are you a fellow Noel? Okay. How's it stack up against the Star Wars trilogy? If I think that no teacher is better than a bad teacher, well, I guess that depends on how bad the bad teacher is. You know what I mean? And how long you have the bad teacher. I mean, whew, boy. Yeah, my hair is really long. But it's been this length for a couple of years now because like I sit on it and it breaks. I don't really I don't cut it or anything or trim it. It's not in good condition, but it's easy to deal with because I just wash it and then I like either leave it down or I put it up in a bun. Today I had it up in a ponytail and then I braided it, and it's just so much fun to swing around and like whoosh, whoosh, whoosh. So
it's like fun. A weapon.
It really is. I was like, I walked was walking down the hall. Good morning. I was like, the students better behave because, and I made it go all the way around. It was just, it's fun. It's fun to play with long hair. Radical Bacon, I'm so sorry
that bad,
you had that experience, but I've also, it depends on the person. If you are, I hope you've been able to, move into a healthier situation. And I hope that you're obviously aware of that. I hope that has helped you become curious and become your own independent learner, because really that's what a good teacher wants for their students. Is for students to become independent learners, because there's so much stuff. A lot of times students are like, how do I do this thing? And sometimes I don't know. And I'll be like, well, what I do is I open a new tab and I go, how do I do da 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 da? And then I don't just go with the first answer. Is it using MLA 8th edition? Because that's the most recent one. And what does it tell me how to do? Da da da. So yeah.
Yeah. The Chris Kringle point was that the O'Briens are portrayed on the show as not being great teachers, but that it's better than no one or shelling out for someone trained, which I don't know. I don't think Keiko is actually portrayed as a bad teacher.
Not as a bad teacher.
I think with experience, and if you hold her like to real world standards as a teacher yourself, then I think it's fair to say she's a bad teacher. But within the universe of the show,
she's not as good as a real teacher. She's not a real teacher.
Within the universe of the show, I don't think she's portrayed as a bad teacher.
It takes a while because it takes longer than when I had thick hair, because when you have thick hair, it's just like chunk, 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 and then it's done. But it takes it a little while because, you're making these little thin twists because my hair is thinner than it used to be. Somebody, as I think Beagle Boy said, about dealing with long hair, or maybe it was Flying Pig. Somebody said about
long hair is that long hair that is easy to deal with. Teach me your ways, guru.
Okay, so it's called a ponytail. So yeah, you pull it into a ponytail, and then I don't have my clips here with me, but you just like twist it, and then you pull it around, twist, near, and then once you get 3 times around, you can just pull it around each time. You don't even have to twist. And then you have a clip on this side and a clip on this side, and it stays out of your way. End of story. Long straight hair is easy to deal with. Radical Bacon, I will say that long curly hair, it takes more doing. Don't brush it. Because that's it, you get tangles. So, you definitely want to do the finger waves, but you can do ponytails and buns the same with long curly hair as you can with long straight hair. To Ultra Trekkie, I have not actually watched Bad Teacher. I've seen the
Is that the Cameron Diaz one?
yeah, I think so.
Yeah, I haven't seen that either.
I've seen the previews, the trailer, whatever the thing's called. I've seen the trailer for it, and I just there's this idea that you can just be a bad teacher, and in some places
and get away with it like for years and years and years.
In some places, I guess that's possible, but only when nobody else would be a teacher. If they could replace you, they would.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Do you want to?
Is there anything else that I don't get too attached to the school? Oh, thank you, Scare Scott. Thank you. Thank you.
That's true. The school does kind of reach a climax at the end of this season.
Should all the kids on the station have to go to the school? It brings up really, especially for me as somebody very left-leaning and anarchistic, it brings up, and somebody who's familiar with, like Radical Bacon says, bad homeschooling, students who are brilliant and yet don't know their times tables, and they call themselves stupid because of it.
Yeah.
Not that I know of any situations like that.
Not that you have any particular person in mind at all.
But yeah, once again, makes you want to punch people.
Yeah. I mean, I think that I generally speaking, like, I think I'm completely fine with mandating that kids go to school. But with Deep Space Nine, it's within the universe of the show, because there isn't like a single authority that is in control of the station. Like, the Starfleet operates the station, but the Bajorans own the station. So it's not like Cisco can just say all the kids have to go to school, because if they're not Federation citizens, or they're not under the jurisdiction of Cisco's authority, then he can't really tell them what to do. Not in that way. I mean, he could order them to do stuff like evacuate the station if he had to, but I don't think he would have the authority to say to parents, you have to send your kids to school.
Emily Chambers, I am a Panther as well, but that's because of my high school. My high school mascot was the Panther. Viticus, bad potions professor, and rotten human being. 255 something was meant for me. Should all the 255 AD, I think there's a really interesting conversation to be had, and it's an ongoing conversation about what we think children, what the standard should be, what children should be taught, and essentially what should be required curriculum versus what should be offered as electives for student choice. I mean, that's an ongoing conversation that schools and, our legislators who, determine what needs to go into the curriculum for public schools. It's an ongoing conversation, and it's a very, very important conversation. So
shall we jump back into the episode?
The flying pig, like the cetaceans.
Stay tuned.
Getting into that,
And Duralta Trekkie, I trim my beard every 2 weeks. So now you know.
Precision.
Every other Saturday usually. All right, shall we jump back into the episode?
I think we ought to.
All righty. So once again,
I don't actually have more gin. I chose grapefruit crema, and it's straight, but I've got something to chase it with. It's really it's lovely, good stuff.
Whatever takes the edge off.
Let's go.
Okay, here we go. So, once again, paused at 29:32. And we'll get started. I'll count us in from 3. 3, 2, 1, play.
Loretta Reyes, you shouldn't fail because of homework. Now, if the homework was designed correctly, it would help to prepare you along with the classwork for the assessments. And so if you weren't practicing, you weren't going to be ready for the assessment. Ooh, he says that with such relish.
I'm already on it.
Oh, next they're going to start, arguing about the color of the napkins. It's like a wedding.
Yeah, totally.
Or,
You
I
can't
mean,
sit
obviously,
correct next to Hoex.
obviously the reception.
And by the way, can I just mention what an awesome made up Star Trek name Hoex is? There's a dude named Hoex.
Caitlin L., it depends on your school. At my school, teachers can't coordinate it because it's not like we all have the same students. So, like, everybody's got different teachers in my class. So there's no way to coordinate it. It is what it is. Now, one of the things I've started doing is I'll assign something on, I don't even differentiate between classwork and homework. It's practice work. Practice work, practice work. I don't care when you do it. I mean, I do care in the sense that you should do it before the assessment. Otherwise, what's the point? But, I'll sign it on Monday and it'll be due like Wednesday or Thursday. You'll have class time to work on it.
Under Ultra Trekkie, no, Brunt is not in this episode.
Odo lives for this confrontation. We need to finish off. This is starting. Oh.
Oh my goodness.
Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Aww. Oh my gosh. That's an adult written line. Not the same thing. You're a kid, though.
He's only 14. Give him a break.
He's 14? Oh, that's even worse.
He's 14.
That's badly written. 14. Look, I deal with 14-year-olds all day, every day, except on weekends, and then even sometimes on weekends. That's not how 14-year-olds talk. That's okay, though. It's written by somebody who didn't understand 14-year-olds. It is what it is.
They should have had you as a script consultant.
They're doing the best that they can. Bless their little hearts. Hooray! I am imagining Urus.
Oh, you think this is what the government of Earth is like?
This is why he stayed in the room with what's her, and they're bald. Like they're hairless.
You think the Ferengi are Erasti? The Erasti aren't this funny, though.
Caitlin, not so much an adult vocabulary, but their manner of interaction. It's I mean, I've having had students who are on the spectrum, whether it's officially autistic or brain no worky, Asperger's, if they're various social spectrum issues.
I just want to point out,
Okay.
because I think you were talking, you might have missed it. The Grand
Oh
Nagus
no.
just named Quark as his successor.
Oh, is that why everybody's yelling?
Yeah. I know you'll do a wonderful job.
Oh Lord.
All right, 3, 2, 1, pause. Paused at 23:29.
So is
So,
that oatmeal or is it like it looks kind of oatmeal-y?
that might be oatmeal. We'll find out when we get back into the show.
255 apparently they don't realize that. They're ultra trekkie. It is the latter. Oh my goodness gracious. The female
It's
Ferengi was
foreshadowing.
posing as a man so that she could run a business.
Spoilers. God, spoil that episode for Dana, why don't you?
You're a suit.
You might,
okay.
you'll forget. You'll forget.
I'll forget.
You'll
I'll forget.
Never mind.
Good.
Sarah Scott, that's an excellent question about what the age of consent is in the Federation.
Wow. Yeah, that would be illegal in most U.S. states, I think.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's obviously Star Trek never made an episode addressing that. Thank God. I don't know if that's necessarily if that's necessarily a part of Federation society that needs to be explored in on screen. But even on Federation worlds, I think it seems like there is some um, sort of leeway in terms of like local customs and local laws. Like if the age of consent was a particular something particular on Earth and it was something else on Vulcan, like whatever the local custom was would be what applied, you know. Um, so I don't know if there would be a uh, like a blanket age of consent in the Federation, but as I said, thankfully that's never been discussed on screen.
Sarah, it's different because the with the age of consent, it can vary to some degree, but also it deals with the age gap as well. And 16 and 20, I don't think that flies much of anywhere. So, like, if a 16-year-old and a 17-year-old are dating, it's less squicky, I guess, to use an old fanfic term.
Indeed. Well, and according to the half your age plus 7 rule, the youngest person that a 20-year-old could date would be a 17-year-old, and even that seems that's kind of like right on the borderline.
That's the edge. That's the edge of the rule.
Yeah, it's like she could be older. What about that? But
it could be worse.
Yeah.
It could always be worse.
It could always be worse.
Oh God, it could be worse.
Yeah, AR Mixon, you're right. Yeah, when Jake dates the Dabo girl who is 20, Cisco does not approve for sure. Yeah.
Caitlin, I did not know that. I just assume that the things that I say are old and hackneyed.
Aw. You're on the cutting edge.
And topic. Yeah, 255D because they're wrong. I mean, that's seriously. Don't you need to know? I don't know, like basic arithmetic. Maybe maybe he's past that point. At 14 and 15, they should be past basic arithmetic. But additionally, understanding various cultures and cultural expectations and how you can exploit them for profit.
Which is the argument that Keiko made in the earlier episode when she's convincing Rom to let Nog go to the school in the first place.
Yeah, I just no.
But the reason is, it doesn't make sense, but part of the purpose of the Ferengi is to satirize right-wing attitudes and like ultra, capitalist like attitudes. Like that's what the Ferengi are for. And it doesn't make sense, but there is a lot of anti-intellectualism on the right, and
also it's sad, especially as a high school teacher. because they're thinking about college. And so many of them are just like, well, I need to, it's like this hamster wheel. It's this horrible, 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 horrible hamster wheel.
Yeah.
I need to get good grades so I can get into a good college, so I can get a good job, so I can earn a good living.
Mm-hmm.
And they have no interest in literature,
finding something that they love. Yeah. Like,
well, but also the whole idea of liberal arts, like in the conservative mindset, liberal arts are a waste because it's not about,
because there's no profit in it.
Well, you can make the argument that there is, that understanding people helps you in business. And that's what literature and art really is about. But it's also about exploring opportunities and maybe changing your mind. And conservatives don't want to hear that. Oh my God, they don't want to hear that. And just yeah, a humor alert, exactly. When the goal is to get a degree.
That's a good way to put it.
Not an education.
That's a good way to put it.
And what an education is and should be. The idea of a liberal education is not just to give you information. It is to open your mind to possibilities, to the idea that there's more out there. And hopefully, please, God, hopefully, we do some of that even as early as elementary school with the arts and music and storytelling and things like that, that there are whole worlds of imagination out there and there's so much possibility. But capitalism, the need to earn your living, that if you don't have a good job, that, your family will suffer. God, it hurts me. It's so debilitating.
Yeah.
It's so confining. The idea of a liberal arts education is to not to give you a liberal arts education, but to make you curious.
Mm-hmm.
If I could not give my students curiosity, but awaken them to possibilities and make them wonder. There's nothing. Test scores, grades, scholarships. Health comes first. And that requires being able to, in our capitalist society, blah, 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 blah. But God,
well, curiosity,
it also, that's where it goes. That's where it's at. The ability to be like, yeah, but what about if we explored this? What if this was an option? The ability to look past what we have and to see the possibility for more. Curiosity is the foundation for hope. And God, a life without, hope is what keeps us going. Oh my gosh, I'm getting maudlin, y'all.
Not only that, I'll make this point, and then we should get back into the episode because it is 7:15, and we still have half an hour to go.
That's true.
So, but not only that, I agree with everything you just said, but also a good liberal arts education, in addition to awakening your own curiosity, it teaches you, it tells you who you are in the context of history, in the context of your society. It teaches you about your culture and your history, and hopefully awaken some curiosity about that. But also, it gives you a broader context in which to put your life.
Yeah.
And I know for me that was a source, and still is, a source of meaning and also of motivation, because hopefully you don't just learn about the good stuff, you also learn about the stuff that needs to change. And that becomes a part of the context of your life as well. How do I try to make the world a better place?
Yeah.
So it's super important. Megan, time code, we are paused at 2920 remaining. So it's negative 2920. And the time code will be up on the screen here in a second after I push play.
Man, oh man,
so,
yeah. Oh, where's our producer?
I know, right? Geek's not in the chat.
Grady Broyles, I want to disagree. Because I think it's the question of what makes life worth living. I think there's more to it than that, and that is a very multifaceted, and it's going to be different for different people. You know what I mean? There are people who aren't curious, who are very set in their ways and are quite content with that, and don't think critically about things. Things are the way they are. I mean, going back to tradition, they people know the whole concept. It's exactly the opposite. People know where they fit in and what their role is and where they belong, and they don't think critically about it, and they're not curious about it, and yet their lives, they see their lives as valuable. They enjoy their lives. They appreciate their lives. So I think that's a conversation that is always worth having and always worth exploring. And I think that answer is going to be different for different people.
So,
and
shall we?
Nope,
Yep.
Not done.
Okay,
Nope.
okay,
Because
okay.
255 AD says there's a clip of Margaret Thatcher visiting Oxford in the 1980s. When asked, a student told her she was studying French literature. Thatcher replied, "Oh, what a luxury." I mean,
What's Margaret Thatcher?
well, but at the same time, being at Oxford as a student, that is a luxury.
That's also quite a luxury.
The opportunity the opportunity to study something, that goes beyond what's required. Let's be honest. There's something beyond what will just earn you a living. Yes, that is a luxury, and that's a luxury that we should have. As it depends on what we mean by luxury. It should be something that is cherished and appreciated and treasured because it goes beyond our material needs. But at the same time, it should be something that is acknowledged. We need to acknowledge that we can go beyond. First of all, we can meet everybody's material needs. Let's just be honest about that. We don't as a society, because we're all like, well, they didn't earn it. So what? We can put aside our luxuries, some of our luxuries. We don't even got to put aside all of them. And we can meet everybody's material needs. And we'll still have enough to provide for some luxuries for everybody. Like,
yeah.
I'm like really ranty tonight.
I know.
Yeah.
I set you off. You
started it, and then they put school in the episode.
Yeah, that's true.
I will rant about education and what I think about that like all day, all night.
You're all wound up.
Yeah, but we do need to get started because it is, since it's Wednesday, I am supposed to get together.
You have a thing
my
at
cousin
8.
at least said she would be there. My mom might not be back from Florida yet, but I get to talk with family, and I'm glad because I'm glad that I get to like my family. I'm so blessed. So let's go ahead. Count us in.
Let's get back into it. So once again, we're coming in at negative 23.29. Here we go. I'll count us in from 3, 2, 1, play.
Beagle Boy Gaming, but she did have more colorful clothing. Well, David C. doing more that I want us to actually have a chance to actually finish the episode.
Yeah, it's a time thing.
Without having my family be like, is somebody starting the meeting? Is it? So, and
if we had all,
because I'm just not there.
If we had all night, Dana could rant as much as she wanted. I wouldn't care, but
the ranting
all night long.
Caitlin, let me go back, see if I can find his. Oh, golly. Caitlin, I would not have let you nap in my class. If you were in class, then you were going to pay attention. You're going to do the work. If you need to sleep, you need to leave the room. I will give you a pass to go to the nurse where you can lie down and they can turn the light off. But if you're going to stay in the room, you're going to do the work. Ooh, mysterious kid.
He's going to go do drugs. He's a teenager.
Oh, this is the stuff they were talking about. Oh, he's wearing a purple cloak. Bless him, of course, because purple is the best color.
He's the Grand Nagus.
It is. It's so purple, Ultra Trekkie. Caitlin L., why should replicators make lumpy? Maybe some people like lumps in their oatmeal. Maybe it was requested.
Very true.
I mean, people like I love it when my food has different textures, and especially if they're complementary. Now, like if the center of the lumps is dry and it's just oats and not oatmeal, not okay.
Not so good.
Yeah, snake bit cat. It's entirely possible. Caitlin L., if you needed to sleep, though, I would want you to go someplace else where you could sleep better. Suddenly, Steve, if there's a grand Nagus, are there other Naguses? Are there lesser Naguses?
There's a lesser Nagus, yeah.
Get used to it. Bye. 255 AD, I am aware of that. From their shells specifically, not from the snails themselves. Caitlin, your school didn't have a nurse's office at all? I mean, our school, breathing. Our school, unfortunately, has to share a nurse with other schools. Like she's there some days and other days she's at other schools, which is, I don't think is right, but that's just me. But not having a nurse's office is something of a surprise for me.
I don't think my high school had a nurse's office either. I don't think my elementary school, middle school, and high. I don't think there was a school nurse in any of them. Not regularly. Not like as a full like a member of. Yeah. No.
What happened if like somebody had like? What did they do? Did they just call 911?
I think, well, I don't remember any like really serious situation, but I think it maybe like one of the phys ed teachers or a guidance counselor would take care of it or something. But there wasn't like a nurse on site when I was in high school. No.
Odo shows up. That means no more fun.
Laughing time is over.
Well, in addition, one of the things that our school has, it also has, as a high school, it has vocational classes. And one of the vocational classes is health occupations. And so they have like hospital beds. And so I've always thought if I just, I just had so much grading to do that I had to stay there overnight. I'd just be like,
you would just crash in the
go over to the health occ room and snooze there, and then make sure I got up set my phone alarm, get up early enough in the morning that I can go down to the gym, the girls' locker room, shower, and then I've actually got a spare change of clothes at the school just in case something happens.
Or you could live at the school.
I could totally live at the
school. What was that book where they live in the museum? Was it the mixed up files of Mrs. Basil A. Frankweiler?
No, yeah. But my brain immediately went to the Walmart movie.
Oh, with Natalie Portman.
With Natalie Portman.
Oh, yeah. What's that called? I can't remember the title of it, but I know what movie you mean.
I don't know. I just remember doesn't she name her baby Americus or something?
Oh God, yes.
It says. I mean, it's a very character defining choice.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is.
Yeah, well, your dads are just grumpy people in general. Piss off, dude.
Don't be ludicrous.
It's awesome. Oh! Oh, come on, come on, come on. I'm giving you an opportunity.
Kiss it.
Darn. Oh.
No opinions, no one cares about. It's not
Suddenly,
Mr. Megorium's Wonder Emporium.
Suddenly, Steve, what's really a challenge is when you're dealing with high school students. A few years later, after teaching for a few years, you can't even go to bars anymore. Because,
just let it play, by the way, through this.
Yeah, please. You're out on the dance floor. You're having a great time with your bestie, and you hear, Mrs. Cole! And you're like, oh my goodness.
Hi, student.
and it's awkward, but you're glad to see them. Do you know why you're glad to see them?
They're alive. They're not in prison.
Exactly. They're alive and they're not in prison. That's it. That's all.
They seem to be doing okay if they're out at a club. Like, okay, cool. You're doing okay.
So.
I wish you wouldn't make friends.
I love the way he says it.
Grand Nagus squawk.
Yeah, but suddenly, Steve, if I was at a bar and I saw current students, first of all, I'm turning those suckers in. And legally, I'm required to report that.
You're a mandated reporter.
I am a mandated reporter. But also, if they see me at the bar and they come up and say hi, it's like Tempest Fugit's question.
How dumb
was she? You'd have to be so stupid. No.
I've always wanted to meet the most galactically stupid woman who ever lived.
Tell your teacher. Yeah. Gosh. Jason Jackson Wright, it's more of a guideline.
It's a firm suggestion.
No, guideline. Arr.
Look at that beautiful space station which the show takes place at.
It's juice. Oh, maybe he's got a hangover.
There's he cracked a raw egg in it and he's just guzzling it down.
Oh, for goodness. Oh, now he's being a stupid dad. Stupid dad. Well, Caitlin, it's also about being consistent. I had a student who, during a homeroom, they're not supposed to have their cell phones out because we're supposed to be doing character building activities and building community. And he said, yeah, but I have it out on my desk because of my mom. And I'm like, look, that's fine with me, except so that I can be consistent. Just bring me a note from an administrator, principal, assistant principal. It's fine. Just bring me a note from an administrator and you got it. That way, that if anybody says that I'm treating you, I'm giving you extra special privileges, then I can be like, no, this student has extra special privileges. It's not just because I'm just favoring them. I'm not playing favorites. Yeah. And he said, okay.
I just want to point out, I love this scene, this Godfather parody scene.
Because you are the Nagus. Respect and friendship are not the same thing. No, oh God, no, it was a terrible deal. Look at the way
You
he was groveling. You
think he
easily
should
could
have
have
pushed for
gotten
more than 50?
70-30. 70-30, easily.
Caitlin, also a great point. The only time we ever see blinds over the windows, and that is purely because this is a Godfather parody. That's the only reason they did it. It makes no sense. We never see it again. It's purely for the joke. And I love it.
Jason Jackson Wright, yes, mandated reporting is literally the law. Like, it's literally the law.
Yeah, the law is what mandates you. Like, and just let it play. Yeah, the law is what mandates you to have to report.
And it tells you what types of things you have to report. And I mean, we get a training every year, which is good. And there's a lawyer from our professional society who comes out and talks to us every year. He's
How
very
lovely.
charismatic. How lovely. It's good to get to know your lawyers.
Yes, for all kinds of reasons.
All kinds of reasons, so that you know when you need to report things and when you don't.
An important distinction.
Jason Jackson Wright, you are incorrect. There are times when it helps to have the law on your side. To tell a student who has told you something they begged you, said it, a student comes up to you and says, if I tell you something, do you promise not to tell anybody? I'm like, ha ha ha, I'm already telling somebody. The fact that you said that, I'm telling.
Yeah.
So, but go ahead, sit down. What's going on? And you let them know that ahead of time. And when they tell you that they are thinking about hurting themselves, you say, look, I'm not doing this. I'm doing this because the law requires it. It's not because I think you're a bad person or because there's something wrong with you.
Here's the end of the Jake Rom school thing, I think.
Well, they didn't last episode 255 AD. Oh, J Dog 1350, good luck with your student teaching.
So I think that scene with Jake and Nog is a really sweet scene.
And we do see and I think that's one of the prompts on my survey is parents have more influence on how someone turns out than their peers do, and strongly agree, somewhat disagree, strongly disagree. And there we see pure influence between Jake and Nog.
Oh, for sure.
Jason Jackson Wright, no. Moxon, he's not a good teacher. I mean, it's not his job. He got stuck with it.
Yeah.
Beagle Boy Gaming, I'm glad you found out by that point. because I mean, finding out like after you've accepted a position and that's your income, it makes it a lot harder.
Yeah.
Jason Jackson Wright, I don't know what that line means. We have star, but no why and a heart. I don't know what you mean.
Lots of hearts, Jason. You're using the heart emoji an awful lot.
Hey, hearts.
I mean, hearts, but yeah, I use it too. But I mean, like twice in a line.
J-Dog 1350, be careful with that. I'm an anarchist, and I don't agree.
Uh-oh.
Dun, dun, dun! Okay, now I like the episode.
Do you want to say the line or should I?
What? Dun, dun, dun?
No. Curse your inevitable betrayal.
Oh, Steve. Sudden yet inevitable.
Sudden yet inevitable betrayal, yeah. Oh, God, I hate transparent aluminum. Not. Oh, he's doing the thing. He's doing the begging thing.
So much groveling. Jason Jackson Wright. We, what we? You and who else?
Let's get this started.
Stop wasting time. You gotta do it.
I know. Just open the door.
Hurry up. Somebody's gonna see you. Oh, come on. Go. Space him.
Space him.
See, now if you'd spaced him, then you would have passed.
Absolutely.
But that whole hesitation,
yeah.
Like, make a decision and go with it.
Kill him.
Once you've made the decision.
Exactly.
Like, hesitation is for before you've actually made the decision. Once you've made the decision, you stick with that. Suddenly, Steve, exactly. He's like, whoops, I slipped.
Sorry.
It's that whole like shape-shifting thing,
Yeah, sometimes I shift my weight a little, my right leg wasn't fully formed yet.
Charles Chapman. Odo loves Quark too much to space.
Yeah, they do have kind of a love-hate thing going on there.
Nice delivery there.
It's like talking to a Klingon.
Ay. No, I wasn't going to toss you. I was just, going to push the little button and let space suck you out. What? That doesn't make any sense whatsoever. Like, if you want, it was failed treachery. He didn't actually accomplish anything.
But his heart was in the right place.
But he was inept about it.
Well, he's Rom, First season Rom. It's a wonder he can even dress himself. First season Rom is not too sharp.
He doesn't dress himself. That's what wardrobe's for. Oh, Caitlin L. I missed that line, but that is a good line. That, everyone, that's a Ventry line. And you don't get that, Steve.
I don't get that.
Oh, what's that from? Kablam! Elimination. Lack of education.
And there's your heartwarming ending.
Whatever. My heart was not warmed particularly.
Your heart was not warmed by
Nope.
that tender father-son scene. All right, that is it for the episode. So no more time code.
So,
you go away now.
Steve, have
So-
you seen Opinionation?
Have I seen?
Have you seen The Fox and the Hound?
I don't know if I have. I don't think I have.
Are you familiar with that it is a movie?
I've heard of the movie, yes.
Okay. So there's an owl character who is talking to Todd the fox about, why his friendship with Copper the hound dog is dangerous, because they were little fox and little puppy together. And he says, now, if you're so foxy and old chief is so dumb, then why is that hound get the fox on the run? Because he's got the hunter and the hunter's got the gun. Kablam! Elimination. Lack of education. So,
nice.
Yeah, it's a pretty good movie. It's from the Disney, sort of the Disney dark period.
Yeah, yeah.
Beagle Boy Gaming, thank you.
Please, no more school episodes. I think the
Oh my God, we watched that because I was like, jealousy will drive you mad. But you haven't seen that either.
Should we add that to the list?
It's already on there.
Oh, it's on the list. Oh,
it's on there. It's
okay.
on there. We'll get there one day.
Hell
255 AD, yes. Not so much magical, but the idea, she's kind of a mammy character, providing guidance and things like that. I don't know if she's so much as a magical black person. By opinions, no one cares about. And we brought up the bit about Wallace Shawn and the Princess Bride, and just not. They just
not your choice for Vizzini. Yeah,
I mean, it really. Emily Chambers, no, I absolutely disagree. Dark Disney, I mean, there are some good films in there, and they did a really good job with what they had. Robin Hood is in the dark period, and it's one of my favorite Disney films. Just the dialogue. I'm a sucker for good dialogue. I love good dialogue, and the dialogue is so great. Oh, come on. That opening sit where they run away and they get away and they get shot at. That was just a bit of a lark, Little John. Bit of a lark. Take a look at your hat. That ain't a candle on a birthday cake, Oh, this one almost had my name on it, didn't it? You've got to admit, they are getting better. Yeah, one of these days that sheriff will have a rope on our necks. We are the laugh hanging there, Rob.
I remember really liking, because I watched it for the first time with you, I guess several months ago now, and the bit with the sheriff of Nottingham taking everybody's money and how clever they got with him sort of that I was really impressed.
The bit really, where he tosses the coin down in the cup and gets the rest of the coins to bounce out.
Yeah. There were a couple of gags in that scene when he's collecting the taxes, where it's just really funny the way they have him,
They call me a slob, but I do my job. He's like, but the friar tuck is, but sheriff, that's the poor box. And he says, and I'll just take it for poor Prince John. 255 and he asks, how do you feel about Rom? Dear Alder Trekkie, yes. How do you feel about Rom? How would you react if they tried to make him an everyman protagonist down the line?
Good question.
We don't really have I mean, this is kind of, there's multiple characters. It's a Steve, help.
Ensemble?
There's an ensemble?
An ensemble?
Kind of. it's kind of an ensemble piece, but you have ones that are more central than the others. Maybe I could see like a spin-off novel about Rom being good, about him trying to sort of find his place. It could work. It just depends.
Rom does get developed quite a bit over the course of the series. In fact, he changes probably more radically in terms of his personality than any of the other major characters. And I really like Rom. Rom ends up being one of my favorite characters on the show. But I really do like groveling, sort of kind of sort of evil, but also incompetent first season Rom. Like in this episode we just watched, when at the end when he goes, "Forgive me, brother," like that. I think that's funny. He's just so abject, and like he tried to kill him. And then he comes into work the next day and he's like, "Forgive me, brother." It's like, I love that.
Tokyo, yes, Peter Ustinov as Prince John. Mommy, I've got a dirty thumb. Oh God. After his side, hypnotism is so soothing. No, none of that. None of that. I'm not sure what else continues after that. Oh God, I love Lady Cluck. Oh my God,
your favorite sidekick? Yeah,
one of
them. Not side, but yeah.
Did we ever come up with another female comic sidekick? Like, they're so rare, and she's so good.
She's good.
I mean, even Little John says, "What a beautiful broad." Yeah! Love conquers all.
So we're at 7:47. So did you want to start winding it up so you have a little bit of time?
I mean, I'll need to probably around 7:55 be like, "Hey guys, I'm here." And no, Sarah Scott, she's not actually bigger than the Rhinos. She's significantly shorter than they are. She's probably about as wide as they are.
She's like Chicken Boo from Animaniacs. Didn't anybody ever see Chicken Boo? Chicken Boo, what's the matter with you? You don't act like the other chickens do. You wear a disguise to look like human guys, but you're not a man, you're a Chicken Boo.
Nicely done, Steve.
Thank you. I love Chicken Boo.
I can tell. Ear mix on? No, absolutely not. Obviously, they well, of course, it's. I think they actually give a timeline in Zootopia about how long they've been civilized. So no, I wouldn't think so. 255 AD asks, the Starfleet people refused to call Nog Nagus. Should they have, given that he's technically head of state? Yeah, they should have, and they didn't. Once again, that evidence of anti-Ferengi bias.
Yeah, well, but also evidence of the joke overall, because like the reason why they continued to disrespect Quark, even though he was technically a head of state, was that it's funny.
It was technical, and also nobody took him seriously. Let's be honest. I still have a crush on that man. Let's just be honest. He's a fox.
That fox.
Oh, that fox. He's a fox.
He's a fox. He's a sly fox.
No, he's just a fox. I mean, he is sly, but he's fox. He's more smoking than Nick.
So he's a sexier cartoon fox.
Oh, God,
than Nick from Zootopia. Beautifulest one.
Hey, beautifulest one.
Hi, beautifulest one. And
yes,
you know what?
Beautifulest one. Not only did he watch Snyder's JLA, he watched.
I watched the theatrical cut too. Here's why.
I hope, beautifulest one. I hope that you are not as betrayed and disappointed and nauseated as I am, because I care about you and I don't want you to feel bad.
I hope that too. I hope I have not disappointed you as I have disappointed Dana. I watched it. I completely blame Jason. It's all Jason's fault.
Oh yeah, passing the buck.
I absolutely. Jason watched it.
It's not. Hey. It's not going to work. It's not helping.
Jason watched it and told me that it was better than the theatrical cut. So I had never watched the theatrical cut. So I watched the theatrical cut yesterday, and I watched the Snyder cut today. Spoiler alert: the theatrical cut is better, but they're both terrible.
Shame. You should be ashamed of yourself. And he feels
betrayed.
Well,
I'm sorry for betraying you, my friend. I'm sorry for betraying you.
Well, Beautifulest One. I highly recommend Tattersall grapefruit crema. It's very tasty and it helps take the edge off the betrayal. Geraldo Trekkie, you say, what do I think about Aladdin? I'm not sure if you mean the character or the movie. I like both.
Probably the movie.
I do not think that Aladdin is nearly as smoking and as charming. I mean, he is charming character, but not nearly as much as Robin Hood. I think it's like probably Robin Hood, Flynn Rider. You know what? Cinderella's Prince is pretty far up there, but a lot of that is headcanon. So I'm just, yeah.
Well, no, Aladdin wears the baggy pants that hide his ass. I mean, come on, man.
It's honestly, for me, a lot of it's about style. Aladdin's got,
it's a style. It's a good look. I'm not saying it's a bad look.
No, not about like clothing style, but about, demeanor and presence and charisma. Aladdin is very charismatic.
Yeah. Geraldo Trekkie, I don't think I would even give it a C, but, I think it's more like a case of like F and F minus for me in terms of grading the movies. Anyway, so do you want to remind everybody about your YouTube channel? And
oh, I kind of don't. I feel bad. It's Wednesday. You guys.
It's okay.
Oh, Geraldo Trekkie, Princess Jasmine, easily. Maid Marian is just she's kind of vapid. She's probably the worst part of that movie, which, I mean, it's not saying that she's a bad character or anything, but, she's not nearly as strong as the rest of it. I mean, Skippy's like miles ahead. Gosh, I don't even remember Skippy's older sister's name, but the older sister buddy, love her to bits. Maid Marian, she's just the love interest. She gets a couple of good lines in. So yeah, it's been really hard. It's been really hard. There's just been a lot going on. And tomorrow is supposed to be my next video on Pride and Prejudice. I don't even have the script written, you guys. It's been so hard. There's just so much going on and I'm so tired and I'm going to start crying.
It is what it is.
Ferengi neoliberal question. Honestly, I looked at that. I didn't miss it, 255 AD. And they seem very what's the Ayn Rand thing?
Fountainhead. Oh, objectivist.
Yeah, but that's not what they call themselves. Not neoliberals.
Oh, I don't know. I thought it was objectivist.
That's like the name of the philosophy I'm talking about in terms of political
libertarians.
Where they're at. Yes, that's what I think. That's where I would put them. Thank you, beautifulest one. I appreciate it. It's just, and I am working on some stuff. I'm hoping I'll have a video up for Saturday, and I'm close to being done with my notes on Pride and Prejudice. So hopefully that'll be next week, and I'll just sort of shift things around. And some of it was because I got things messed up, and I needed a video literally for my students on Monday. So Steve helped me out and he edited that super fast. And I was like, gotta say these things because they were going to have a lesson and I was going to be at the eye doctor's office. And I was just like, I'm not going to be there. And they need to know this thing because we're working on it on Tuesday and they needed to have the lesson on Monday. And it was so stressful.
But you did it.
You. I appreciate that.
Well, it was my pleasure.
Don't think it lets you off the hook for watching those two terrible movies.
Well, of course not. That happened before. I mean, I would have to edit a video on short notice at some point after this.
Even then, man.
I know. It's just, you know what it is? You know what, Dana? It's just going to take time and just the rebuilding of trust. That's what it's going to take.
Well, you know what they say. Nothing heals a broken heart like time, love, and tenderness.
And by they, you mean Michael Bolton.
Yeah, I know, but it wasn't just him. I mean, making
Yeah.
making a song and producing it and distributing it, it's a group effort. There were
So
other people who supported him.
yeah, yes, far too many. No, I'm kidding. I actually kind of like Michael Bolton.
Philip Kehoe, which character are you talking about? Because I really want to know. It may be in a movie that somehow I've missed.
It's 7:55, by the way.
Okay. No tears. What would I be for missing my video? Not so much self-flagellation, but disappointment. There's disappointment there. And Daryl Dretke, I don't care. Like half of something terrible is still something terrible. Anyway, it's 7. Yeah, I gotta
you should go.
Skadoodle.
So Dana's YouTube channel is linked in the description. So if you're not subscribed to her, please subscribe to her because she makes awesome videos. And
you should also put links to the charities that support.
Yes.
Okay.
When I choose the ones I'm going to donate to, I will put them in the description of this because we did talk about it, and I'll mention it in an upcoming video too.
Good.
But yeah, so and we'll be back next week to watch the next episode of Firefly, which is War Stories. And we'll be together on Friday for the next chapter of The Dispossessed for Read Away.
God, I haven't read it.
Neither have I. It's okay.
Yeah, I know, but I got a day job, dude. All right. Well,
and then also, and then Sunday is the patron hangout, and also on Sunday you're going to be a guest on Social Justice Alchemy.
Boy.
Sorry, should I stop listing all the things you're doing? should I, or maybe
it's
not?
Hard. This is a good problem to have. Is having lots of things that you're passionate about, that you care about, that you enjoy doing, and lots of people care about you. I just appreciate it, and it was so nice to talk to all of you. I really like talking with you guys, even when it's been a really, really just full week. Yeah, but she wasn't. I don't know that she was so much a comic sidekick character. Doesn't feel. She feels like, I don't know. It's different. It's different.
Okay, we have to go because you have a thing.
So. I know. I don't want to let my mommy down, and my daddy, and my brothers,
and your cousin, and whoever else.
Bye, everybody,
right,
and hopefully we'll see you on Friday.
Absolutely. Thanks for watching.